Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about how we can set permission on file and directories, how we can manage the files and directories, and how we can provide the permission, how we can change owner as well as the group owner on a file. So all these things we are going to talk about in this video. So let's open the terminal and we are going to talk about one of the very important command over here, which is ls-l. So you remember that we used a command which is ls to list the contents of a directory. We can use an option of that command which is -l that stands for long list. So it will show the details of those files and directories which are present in our current directory. As you can see, in my current directory, I have a lot of files and folders, and I can see the details of those files and folders as well. So in this session, we're going to focus on what these things are mentioned here and what they are. So what I'll do is I'll just copy everything which is mentioned here from here to my notepad so that I can explain these contents to you. So first of all, let's understand what these things are written. So if you count these number of places, you will find that there are 10 number of places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are 10 places. So I'm going to explain these 10 places to you. First of all, we'll talk about this hyphen which is mentioned in the beginning. This first hyphen which is mentioned here is telling you about the type of file. So this is telling you that it's a normal file. And if you find a D written here, it means that it's a directory. Also, if you get a L written here, it means it's a link file. Link file means a shortcut file, a symlink that can be created on Linux. So in first position, you either can get a hyphen, a D or a L, which is telling you that hyphen means it's a normal file, D means a directory, L means a link. So if you come here and see all these are mentioned as hyphens starting from here till here. But all these blue ones are the directories which I mentioned earlier also. You can see a D written here, a D written here, a D, and all these are directories and the other are your normal files. Now your files can be TXT, can be JPG, can be MP4, can be EXE, and can be log files or anything. But yes, any file that you will find here will have a hyphen in the beginning. Now, all these places which are left, they are 9 places, and these 9 places are divided into 3 groups. So if I divide them into 3 groups or 3 categories or 3 like entities, the first entity would be owner, the second one will be the group, and the third one will be others, means other users. So starting from this RW hyphen, these 3 places are telling you about the owner's permission on this file or directory. The other 3 are telling you about the group's permission on this file or directory. Or the last one are telling you about the permission of other users on your system over this file and directory. So R, W, and this hyphen, we can have 3 places here. We can write 3 particular permissions here. R stands for read, W stands for write, and there is one more which is not mentioned here, that is X. So X stands for execute. So these are the 3 permissions that we have: read, write, and execute. R stands for read, W stands for write, and hyphen stands for execute. So this, not hyphen, sorry, X stands for execute. Over here, if a hyphen is mentioned, it means that we do not have that permission over here. Means that permission is not given to that entity. So let me make these things clear to you. So this is the permission which is provided to the owner. This is the permission which is provided to the group. And this is the permission which is provided to other users. So what these permissions are means the owner over here can read and write. Read means the person can read the contents and see the contents of that file or directory. Write means the owner or the person can basically write or edit the file. Hyphen means execute, this particular location can have a hyphen or X, which means the person do not have the execute permission on the file. They cannot run the file. Same thing if you check for the group. So group only has read permission, no write and no execute permission over here. And if we talk about the others, so they also have read permission, but no write and no execute permissions. So these are the permissions that you need to know. Now, let's understand how we can change the permission of these files and directories. So for changing the permission, we have to use a command called as chmod. And after that, we have two methods of changing the permission. We can use numerical method or we can use alphabetical method. In the numerical method, basically, you need to know that read, write, execute are given specific numbers. So read is given a number which is 4, write is given a number which is 2, and execute is given a number which is 1. So all these three are given, each given a number, read, write, execute. So let's say you want to provide some permissions to the owner. So what permission you want to provide to the owner? Just add those numbers. If you want your owner to read and execute, you can add these two numbers and it will be 5. So in the first position, you can mention 5. This first position is for the owner. Now same thing for group. What permission you want to provide to group? Let's say I just want my group to read and write. So I can add these two and mention a 6 here. And if we talk about others, let's say I do not want any permission for the other users. So I can simply write a 0 here because in this case, I do not have to add any of these. So it will become 0. Followed by the name of the file which you want to edit. So let's say the file name is file.txt. So this particular command will change or modify the permissions of a file and it will provide read and execute permission to the owner, read and write permission to the group, and 0 permissions to the other users. Let's try to run this command on any file here. So you can see we have a lot of files here. So I have a file here called as wordlist.txt. I'll use this one. Currently, you can see it has read write permission for the owner, read permission for the group, and read permission for the others. Let's say I want to change the permission of this file. So I can specify I want full permission for owner. So in that case, you have to add all these three numbers, 4 plus 2 plus 1, which will become 7. So you can come here and type 7. After that, what we need is, let's say I want only read or write permission, read and write permission for the group. So I can add 4 and 2, which will become 6, and 0 permission for the other users. So I can just write a 0 here, followed by the name of the file, which is wordlist.txt. If I hit enter, you will find that the permission has been changed by confirming it using this command. And you can see that it has a read, write, execute means full permission for the owner. Group has only read, write, and others have no permission. So you can see those permissions and have been changed using the chmod command. Another method of changing the permissions of same thing you can do for directories also. It is not anything different. Now, same thing you can do using alphabets also. So how we can do that? Let's write the chmod command. Now, these entities are given some alphabet characters. So O is given U, means owner is represented with this symbol is small u. Group is represented with G, and other users are represented with O. So make sure this O is not for owner, it's for others. U is for the owner, G is for the group, and O is for the others. So we can change the permission of any specific entity using these characters. So let's say I just want to change the permission of owner, and I want to add or I want to provide read and write only to the owner. So I can do that, and then I'll mention the file name. Let's say it is wordlist.txt. So it will change the permission of the file, and only the permission of owner will be changed. Earlier it is read, write, execute, and now it will become read and write. So let's try to run this command. If you now hit the ls command, you can see that the wordlist.txt has now the read write permission for the owner, the execute permission that it has earlier has been removed. Also, if you want to change the permission of group, let's say I want the group to have, let's say I want to add the execute permission in the group. So instead of equals to, I can have plus also to add something into the group. Also, if you want the owner to be added, let's say, or owner to be removed, let's say you do not want the owner to have the right permission, so you can remove it like this. Minus means to remove, plus means to add. So you can separate these permissions for different entities using this comma. Let's copy it, let's paste it here and hit enter. And now you will find that the owner will have read write execute. The owner will have only read permission and the group will have read write execute permission. So if you now run the ls-l command, you can see that the owner has read and the group owner has read write execute permission. Now, where in the list is mentioned that who is the owner, who is the group owner? So you can see this. This first column is telling you about the owner and the second column is telling you about the group owner. In the last session only we saw that there are two types of group, primary and secondary. So this is a primary group. Whenever we create a file, we become the owner. Let's say I create a file over here as Kali user, so I will become the owner of the file, means Kali user will be the owner, as well as the Kali group will become the group owner of the file, which you can change later on by default by using different commands that I'm going to show you. But for now, you can understand, yes, the read permission is given to the owner, which is written here, and the read write execute permissions are given to the group, which are mentioned here. So this is how you can use plus symbol, you can use minus symbol, or you can use the equals to symbol to change the permission. Equals to means that specific permission will be given to the file. Then plus means it will be added. Minus means that permission will be removed. Also, let's say you want to provide everyone with execute permission on this file. So you can write something like this. So you can just mention your file as this one. So let me just make these spelling mistake correct, and then let's copy this command, and this command will provide the execute permission for all users. For now, you can see only group has execute. No, like owner does not have and the group owner does not have. If we hit this command and again let's ls-l, you can see that the owner also has the execute permission, group already had, so it's there, and the others also has the X permission. If you want to remove the X permission from all the entities, I can mention something like this, and then it will be removed from all the entities over here. So this is how we modify the file permissions using the chmod command. Now let's say you want to modify the owner of a file. So I can use a command that is chown followed by the name of the owner which I want to assign it. Let's say I want to assign Kali as the new owner of a file named as wordlist.txt. So now the owner of this file will change from root to Kali. You can just confirm by running the same command and you can see the owner of wordlist.txt has changed to Kali user. Same thing, if you want to change the group, you can use another command like this one. And let's say any group that you want to provide. So before that, let me check what groups I have on my machine. So I can just read the group file and hit enter. You can see we have group 101 over here. So let's try to provide the permission to group 101. So if you want to change the group, you can use the command like this, chgrp followed by the new group owner name and followed by file name. So if you now check ls-l, you will find the group owner of this file has changed from root to group 101. Also, if you want to change the group permission and everything in a single command, then you can use a command like this and then mention that I want to make the group owner as, let's say, XYZ, and I want to mention the owner as root. So whatever you want to mention, the first will be the owner and second one will be the group. You can use the chown command to change both of them in a single command. If you hit enter and again check the file, you will find that the owner is root and the group owner is XYZ. So this is the concept of file and directory permission. Same thing you can do for directories also. And this is why we require the concepts of user and group management. To provide the permissions over these files, we can add few members in this XYZ group, and then those users will have read and write permission over this file. Owner will have read permission and others will have no permission, or whatever changes you want to make, you can do all these things without, like, because of these permissions.
If you want to join the live practical focus training on Kali Linux, then you can contact us on the number shown on the screen.